car right outside of Davis Bridal in Roseville, at the parking lot. It's right after I picked up my wedding dress that I made a reservation for months ago and paid for. I picked it up. I just got the dress. I sat in the car. And then in those days, I had a flip phone, BlackBerry small flip phone, no display or anything, just a simple email that I got. I got an email. I opened it up and looked at it and say, I'm sorry, but the email said, I don't know the sender. The email said, I'm sorry to let you know that I am having an affair with your fiance. That's what the email said. I don't know the sender. I was like, what the heck is this? And it's from England. I was like, oh my God, my mind was blown. I had no clue who this person is. I don't even know how they got my email. The only truth is at that time I was engaged to be married to my fiance that I met at age 14 and a half. And so, okay, totally it's like, I thought it was a joke. I didn't know what's going on. Okay, my fiance at that time, he was in Singapore. He was from Singapore, he's also Burmese. I met him 24 years ago on Valentine's Day when we're both 14 and a half years old, 8th grade. We met at an award ceremony for essay contest. And we ended up going to the same technical college in Singapore and passed our mid-20s, and then we decided, both parents knew each other, everybody was on board, and we have known each other for so long, and then, this decision was, okay, I will come to the United States to study, finish my engineering degree, I will go back to Singapore and get married, or if he wants to come, he will come here, but we'll figure it out later, it doesn't matter, we'll end up being together. So we got engaged after I finished my school here, and we paid for the whole wedding, everything already. I made reservations from here, United States, to book a solemnizer in Singapore. We had to pay for the whole hotel, all the food and everything. Invitations were sent up. Everything's all set in stone. And I got the email. I was like, okay, this must be a joke. So I called him. Hey, I got this email. I didn't even have to tell him what the content was. I told him the name and then total silence. I was like, tell me what's going on. And then he turned off the phone. I couldn't call him back, like voicemail. I was like, oh my goodness, it's like, tell me something, what's going on? I just wanted to know, and it was hard. It was really hard. I just wanted him to say something, and then anyway, it was, then I found out that when your heart is broken or when somebody breaks your heart, it's not just the emotional pain, there's the actual physical pain. It's like it feels like somebody is choking you. It's hard to breathe. When you're driving, you don't see anything. You're just in that zone. It's like, you're totally apart from the reality. I was like driving, felt like I'm going to hit something, totally like walking in your sleep. And then you felt like somebody just stabbed you in your heart on this left side, and then just like did this, and it bleeds life. You could feel it. I couldn't sleep. I couldn't eat. I was just lying on the floor. It was brutal. And then I wanted him to say, okay, you know what, I found somebody, I'm going to, whatever, just say something. For some reason, he didn't want to have to pick. He wanted that pick thing on the ladies, like me or the other person. And I found out more later. Yeah, but so it was, I didn't know what to do. So what I did was I chose a flight ticket to fly out to Singapore. I was like, if I were to see him face to face, maybe, you know what? I've known him since 14 and a half. I'm sure we can talk about it. Tell me what it is, what am I missing? So I flew out. And that time, also, since we already planned for wedding dates and everything, my parents also flew out from Burma. His parents also flew out from Burma. They were all from. And we all met in Singapore. Parents had no clue. I didn't tell anybody about it. I thought we could figure it out. And invitations already sent out, didn't know what to do. It was, and then the day was almost coming, and he didn't want to pick. He was going back and forth, and I got to the point, it was like, you know what, maybe, although it's painful in a way that if he couldn't make up his mind and take a stand on who he wants to pick, this might not be a good person for me, or a good match for me. He might be good in other ways, but And then what happened was, I was using his computer a few days before the wedding, set wedding date. and I found X-rated photos on the computer, hard drives. I was like, I've known you since 14 and a half. We didn't have sex. We wanted to wait until marriage. How could you do this with somebody else that you just met? They met online. She came from England. She was living with him for a few months and stuff like that. I was like, okay, so, and also I was telling him, if you couldn't commit to, how did you do that to the other lady too? You know, the girl, don't do that. So it totally, I was like, okay, that's it. So we decided not to get married. I told him, since already paid for, we'll just make it as an engagement party. So that day, I didn't wear my wedding dress, white dress. I just wore regular dress, regular clothes, and then show up and told people, you know what, we still need to figure out the immigration issues and visa stuff. So we'll just do an engagement instead of a wedding. So nobody thought of anything else. And then I left after a few days after that. Thinking was that if we could make it work after I leave there, that maybe, you know. So that was the last time I saw him. Because after that, we couldn't make it work long distance, and also he ended up not picking her or me, and he ended up marrying somebody else. But, you know, I'm glad that the lesson that I found was that I got was that when things are really crashing down on you, you might think that's the hardest time in your life. But sometimes I look back now, I realize that was the best thing that's ever happened to me. Otherwise, right now, we're married to him, most likely I will be divorced. Because, you know, like, right, if I can trust somebody, right, for whatever reason, I don't think it's really, yeah, so you have to listen to your gut. Just because you found something at age 14 or 15 doesn't mean that you have to hold on to it. It might have not been the best choice for you. Things change, people evolve. You just have to, you know, live with it. And, you know, first love doesn't mean the best love. So, I mean, yeah, I'm good with that. And just want to share that because it's Valentine's Day 24 years ago and it's still February. So, yeah, I'm glad. And Nick and I talked about it. He knew about all this, and then we laughed. And he actually is very grateful that my ex cheated. Otherwise I would have to end up marrying him. So he's grateful for that. So, thank you guys.